You see, the essential effort or the essential study is an effort to go beyond this helplessness that most are in and to wake up to a sense of able. That's the parameter. Most exist struggling with life, and many times it creates a helplessness. I don't know what to do. We do what has been told to us. We work hard, or we try this, we do that. So the essential effort is to liberate you from this helpless state. That all I can do is wrestle with reality, wrestle with life, wrestle with circumstance, wrestle with conditioning. To go beyond that helplessness and to discover that you have an innate ability. This is the pivot point. For now, life appears like a war, like a fight. If we imagine the Neanderthal man or the pre-modern time human being, they look like they were battling nature, hunting, gathering, day by day surviving. We seem to have accepted that as life. But that is not the truth, We also created. We discovered how to make fire. We build home, we build shelters. We build community. We have built dams. We created. So before we enter this, I was thinking, what is the parameter in which we discuss this? Is to go beyond being helpless about life, about reality, to cultivating, waking this innate ability to create. But you will struggle to grasp what I'm saying until you study it a bit. Creation is understood when I start inquiring, as I am, what am I attracting? As I am, what am I manifesting? But this is the deeper study. The deeper study of creation is the state of me is creating the reality I'm living out, whether I do something or not. Again, I repeat this. When you realize the state of me is creating this that appears very real, and most often we think our reality is creating us. In some sense, that is true to a point. But at one point, you start realizing the state of me is creating reality. Again, I put this in the right context, you understand. The effort of this study, what we are trying to share to humanity, what we are inviting people to learn and explore, not just by what I've put down, by one's own inquiry, is it possible to transcend this helplessness that I feel about reality? You see somebody from a poor background, how the hell is he going to become rich? How? Your brain says he has to work hard, struggle. No, everybody works hard, sir. Don't talk about the one or two that escapes. So the only knowledge that we have been told is struggle, fight, and there is some validity to that. I'm not saying there is none, but I'm saying there's a deeper truth. A deeper truth is when you realize the science of creation. How does creation happen? And one of the insight is, as I am, my reality is. This is a point of inquiry, right? As I am, my reality is. But in order to water it down, the best way to look at it is consciously, but most often unconsciously, what am I supporting? Whenever you can grasp that within you, whenever you know that you will not participate against what you choose, when you can know how to engage you, how to hold you in a way that you attract, induce, manifest, maybe that's the word, reality, a liberation happens to you. Life is not a struggle anymore. Life is not a battle anymore. Life is a participation, and suddenly the power is back to you. Right now, it's helpless. It is war. It is taking chances. Hopefully, you get lucky. It is brutality. And based on this brutality, if you study the whole the history of the world, most of the wealth has been plundering other countries. But there is no other way. When one is living that I do not have the power to manifest here, you are invited to study, to inquire, to learn, so that you can free yourself from this helplessness and wake up to this state that you are able, that there is an inner ability that you have, that if I know how to hold me, if I can govern me rightly, by that state of me, I induce reality to happen. Science is coming close to this day by day. When I check the quantum studies or quantum mechanics and all this, so exciting because they're stumbling upon it. They said, when you observe something, what you observe changes. The observer affects what is observed. So for the first time, we come to a point to contemplate that I am an effector, not just affected. That I am an effector. But when I wake up to the reality I'm an effector, I take responsibility. Not blamed, sir. I learn to take responsibility. I know how to hold me. Have you seen somebody bake? I see my daughter bake cake. She has a way she bakes. Sometimes she has asked me to assist her. Will be interesting how she will instruct me. No, like this. But she's creating, you understand? Of course, she's manipulating the ingredient, but she's creating and she's doing and she has a particular taste and voila. So the effort for everybody that is part of this, a great shift we are trying to bring. I am not saying you should abandon struggle. It is that. But I'm saying don't abandon this truth, you are a creator. If I say the truth, you will say I'm exaggerating. You're a magician. Where we got to as a human species, our civilization did not arrive only through struggles. There were magicians among us who created, who gave birth, who realized. So from that helplessness, it is a journey to able now. I have a certain ability. I'm playing it down for your sake. No, certain ability. Actually, I have absolute ability to shape my reality, my outcome. Before I was just struggling. I was just taking chances. I was just being violent. I was just being brutal. Now I'm the artist. Introducing this understanding. Holding a space that you can realize if you know how to hold you rightly, you will induce that reality. Another fact that has to be understood, you can struggle all you want. If you do not transform you, there will be no result. Then you live differently. You don't live struggling. You live creating. And the science of creation is, as you are, your life is. For this, we become conscious. We become alert. We become aware of everything we do. We become aware of every belief we adopt. We even become aware of the energy field we live by. As you grow in this, the struggle diminishes, celebration increases, life unfolds, you live a creation. Right now, you are nothing but a byproduct of a struggle. You are not a byproduct of a creation that you choose to live out. Now, we go into this. Who else, who will be interested in this? When somebody says, I want something more, when somebody sees the demand, it cannot remain the same anymore. Something has happened. They want to break free. If not, you have inherited the struggle for living, continue. The creator is the person who wants something new, something more. So the first creation, all of you, the students that are studying this, break free from your own family, your own cultural, your own surrounding condition. Don't repeat what that shaped you. Don't repeat the past. First, from helplessness to able, the next demand. What is the revolution I want to bring? I tell this story. I hope you take it rightly. You're new people. About 18, I was leaving my town. And in my mind, that was it. If I come back, I'll come back to visit, but I'm never coming back to the town. I love the town, but no. As the bus was leaving, I could see my house and I kind of bowed. I don't know why. And I told, like, I love my dad a lot. And I said, Dad, I'm going to do everything I can not to be you. He's a beautiful man. He's a good human being. Not a creator, though. He's a survivor, like every other father is, I'm sure. But I didn't know this. But I said, I don't want to be you, Dad. I want to live something else. I wanted something more. I said, I'm not going to repeat. So the first thing is, what is that, the pattern that you need to break? What is that you want to undo? That you have inherited and now it is you. I'm giving you why you would do this. You can very quickly switch to survival. Then money is everything, making a little bit of money, you go into that. Or you can wake up to say, I have the ability to create. You think differently. When you can create, you are looking at it differently. And the first action of the creator, I'm going to break the pattern that I have been indoctrinated to. And the first pattern is, I'm not just going to be a survivor. I'm going to thrive. I'm going to live as a creator. I'm going to create a new. As much as we are doing this very individually, but let me explain this. The future of humanity depends on this. I'm not sure exactly how we are doing it, but the future of humanity is going to come when each human being is reminded the creator and held to it. That as a species, we come together to create, not just to survive in brutality. That we create. It's almost like I just didn't survive. I offered. I enriched. And the first enrichment is break the pattern. And the first effort, as much as you hear me, and maybe most of you believe what I'm saying, or give this a chance, to create a support, to create a community that undertakes the effort to live this. Because overwhelming is the conditioning otherwise. That we wake up from not being able to able, and in that state of able, creating. It's a completely different life. And whenever you are creating, you become conscious of every word, every thought, every state you are in. The helpless, the survivor, has nothing to offer. They actually take, they plunder. But the creator offers. To me, the science of creation is in some way, I don't mean to be very poetic about it, it's actually the science of love. Not love as a romance, as an energy that holds. And we begin this on an individual level. First, you have to undo what you have inherited. Next, as an individual, what is that you need to create so that you can celebrate being you? That's a master statement, I always say. I'm not here to take. I took a birth to give. I was in Spain, in Malaga. I went to Picasso's museum. Well, I think I spent an hour pretending I know what I'm looking at when I actually didn't. His art is not mine. But it's an art. People love it. What do you think he gave Spain? Did he take or he gave? There's his museum. We went to a couple of museums, 2 museums. And almost everything is there. I can see somebody created, somebody left a legacy, somebody gave. That country inherited something from him. I was excited because Picasso was born there. These are the sign of a creator. So a revolution in our brain, I suppose, from simply being a survivor, living helplessly, to waking up, to recognizing this ability. And that ability in the beginning is recognized by meeting your demand. And the first demand is to undo the past. What is the reality you don't want to repeat anymore? Next, I think, is the demand to be free. So you need some personal success. You need to create a life in which life lets you out. But let me go to the fundamental today. The effort is, and I'm very sure in the future many more people will contribute to this, to play a role in you recognizing this innate ability that you and I have, which is the power to manifest, create, and to live rather differently, I suppose. I don't want to make it egoistical. To live in an upflow, to live in an enrichment. So the question will come, can I create anything? I think the most reasonable answer, there could be many answers, the most reasonable answer is, you create, or the ability to create depends on your living demand. Picasso had a demand to break the normal way of painting, and he has his own way of expressing what he saw. So we go into another aspect of this as we explore. You can only meet your demand if you wake up to recognize you are a creator. Now, how do we begin? To live consciously, not to unconsciously repeat. To know every action, every thought has a consequence. Is to know that you have, as an observer, you effect what you observe. This way, is your life what you observe, or the way you observe is how your life is? Did you observe your life, or how you observe is how your life is? If you look at the world and you say it's an ugly place, it becomes ugly. If you look at the world and you say it's a beautiful place, it becomes beautiful. So is there a reality beside my observation? Now, I think in days and months and years to come, I will explore questions with you. But today, let me just give an overview. I think we're going to launch the pivot point soon. The essential effort is to wake the creator in you, to support you to realize that. And so you can live your demand first to undo your past. Next, to meet your demand. And in my definition, in being oneself, it simply means when I recognize my demand and meeting it is the whole meaning of being oneself. Maybe the evolution is to evolve from being a creature to a creator. But I'll leave you with this, and I don't want to go too much into it. I remember exploring this. I'll tell you the history of it. In my 20s, it took many years, maybe 8, 9 years, close to a PhD study. I remember the day I realized it. I think I cried for a week, and I'm not the crying type. Just tears. And all I said is, I'm out of the trap. I'm out of the prison. I'm out of the prison. Because up to that point, life is only a struggle. Life is only a game of chance. Life is only my will against the world. It's war. And when I realized, oh my God, there's within me this ability to create, I am a creator, then life was just a question of creation. And there is a science to it. You have to learn a few things about it. But it's a shift. So today I want to ask everyone who's here, see whether you can recognize the state as a first lesson. When you are functioning only as a survivor, or when you're functioning as a creator. When you feel helpless, disabled, to a state of being able, and see whether you can switch very deliberate. You are one way. You see, if you don't know how to swim, I throw you into a deep end, you are surviving. Drowning, but survive. That's what you're doing. But if you know how to swim, the state is different. You're probably having fun, right? So see the state. But I tell you something about the world and the ugliness of some in the world. They want to keep you in a state of survival. They don't want you to recognize you're a creator because you cannot be enslaved. You cannot do much to a creator. He's a creator. He will create his reality. He will go to the world and the world will open its door. He will be supported to do what he does. And in order to do that, you must reject the glorification of struggle, the glorification of surviving, the identity that you have created, saying, oh my God, you don't know how hell I went through. Two, recognizing this innate ability. Guruji said it, in his own way. Remember, everybody comes to this. He said a very beautiful 3 syllables. He said, I am, I can, and I wish. Wow. He said, I am, and he said, I can. He didn't say I'm struggling. He said, I can. Then he said, I wish. On a personal note for everyone, probably you have to ask about now, what is it that time has come to transform, transcend? What is it the time has come? You see, what you create, I don't know. Like the gift you bring, I can't guess. Sometime maybe a little bit. But you are the gift. So today, see, if it's possible, if you can, to switch from simply struggling with life, being a survivor of life, to waking up to see whether you can detect this truth. I'm a creator. There are people, when you meet them, you smile. I have someone, I think it's some, when I don't do this. When I see him, I'm jumping. I'm like, that's not me, that's him. That's him. He brings good news and a lot of things. Like there are people you see, in some sense, with people, what they are creating, or what effect you're going to experience from them, right? Knowing someone, we are very rarely surprised. Somebody says they screwed something up. You go like, yeah, just took a while, but wow, I was waiting for that to happen. The ultimate self-recognition is when I can crystallize as I am what I'm offering, what I'm creating. My mission, at least from my part, everyone can live out their mission. My mission is to end slavery, so to say, that you are freed, that you have the money, the comfort, that you can be freed. Because I believe only when you are truly freed, you will explore some of the ultimate truth, not till then. So creation is a knowledge midway. But to make it into a practical level, is simply to wake up to know an ability you have, which is you have the power to manifest, to give birth, which right now it's probably absent because you got into a survival mode, coping mode. So today, before I go, I thought we were going to do some questions, maybe not. I want to suggest a creation. We are about to launch the pivot point. It's nothing but a network of people coming together, upholding this, supporting each other, to open a forum for people to learn, for so many people to contribute. It's also going to be a place that people can network among themselves, among creators. It's all about success and that. It's not there yet. We got to create it. It's not going to happen. We're going to make it happen. And it's not a battle, it's a wish. As long as I can remain unfallen, as long as I can remain holding that wish, as long as I can participate as a creator, this will be birth. So the fundamental shift from struggling with life, right, into creating life. It's a two different view. When we are creating, life is of celebration, of joy, of giving, of birthing, of being able. The other is the nightmare that exists when this is absent. So maybe if you can today, maybe for 5 minutes, sit in this and see whether you can. I'm not saying you should quit struggling, but I'm saying, can you also explore the possibility that you are a creator? And as a creator, when I learn to hold myself, I command a reality. Maybe if you can, for 5 minutes or so, sit together. And then, if you can, celebrate this wish. What is that you wish for? My wish? I wish you are free. You work because you want to, not because you have to. And there's a prejudiced reason why I want you to be free. Because only when you are a free person, the desire for the ultimate will be born. Not till then. It's not possible. A slave cannot envision enlightenment. Only a creator can. So maybe together we sit and hold the wish. And one of the wishes, I hope I'm not crossing the boundary. People are treated rightly, not just as a means to an end. Not just people, everything on this earth. Because in survival, it doesn't matter. That's why in war, we can do such atrocious things. My desire for the freedom is everybody is treated beautifully, accepted for what they are, held in respect, that their freedom is protected. And I know only in that space, love flowers. And I'm not doing this to be selfless or things like that, because I want it for myself, my children, and the people I care about. So it's a bit selfish, so you don't have to make it spiritual and all that nonsense. Because I wish it for all. It's like falling in love, you know. If you ever really fall in love, you wish the best for the other. You wish. You don't reduce them to a means to an end. You want to see them bloom. You want to see them live their life, whatever that may be. So maybe today, for 5 minutes, sit, switch from struggling, from being powerless, to waking up to this state that you have this power. You might have to study to realize it, but it's there. Maybe for a few minutes, sit in it. And then, if you can, celebrate your wish.